Ruben Neves has emerged as a cheap midfield option for Manchester United in the last 3 days. Now, in this video, we'll be looking at the positives, negatives, why Manchester United potentially might sign Ruben Neves, as well as going through some alternative options as well, if it's not Ruben Neves, and having a general conversation about the midfield. So, Ruben Neves has emerged in the last couple of days as an option now. In terms of price, it's going to be for £20 million, and this does look like a quite nice opportunity. Ruben Neves, someone who, again, while he was at Wolves, was probably their best player at the time. He was a very, very good midfielder, got a great shot on him as well. And listen, with United in need of a midfielder or maybe multiple midfielders, Ruben Neves has emerged as an option. Now, in terms of price, £20 million in January. His contract runs out in the summer, and now Hilal are desperate to let him go. Now, he is still only 28 years of age, so he's at a very, very good time in his career, and I think would massively improve Manchester United midfield. Now, let's look at some of the positives in signing Ruben Neves. Number one, cheap option. As I said there, £20 million is a relatively good price for someone like Ruben Neves, especially in January as well. I think we are in need of someone who can control that midfield, and I think he would add a lot more balance in that team. With Casemiro potentially going in the summer, this is a great opportunity, and it presents itself as not a suitable replacement long term, but definitely a better option than Casemiro. Now, £20 million, depending on what goes on with Semenyo in the January window, I think United will definitely have that to go and get Ruben Neves. Now, also depending on what happens with Galatasaray and Ugarte, what happens with Menu and Napoli, would also depend on obviously whether if Ruben Neves does join the club or not. But again, the first reason why you would look to sign him in January is £20 million, so a relatively cheap price. Now, another reason, Premier League experience. He had 6 years at Wolves. I believe he was Porto's captain before he joined them as well. And those 6 years were very, very good for him at Wolves. He was one of their, as I said, better midfielders. He played a lot with João Moutinho. He was a very, very good conductor of the ball. And you look at what Manchester United need. We need someone a midfielder who's creative, but also someone who can dictate from deep and defend. And I think while his time at Al Hilal hasn't been sort of as what is expected it to be, he is looking at a return to the Premier League. So listen, I think he would definitely be a good option for United. I wanted him when he was going to leave Wolves before he went to Al Hilal, but for £20 million you can't go wrong. And again, Premier League experience is something that we need, and something that Manchester United have gone for in recent years. I mean, you look at Cunha and Burmo, there's been a focus on getting Premier League experienced players, and he is at a good age as well. Another positive would be, again, improving that midfield. Again, Ugarte seems out of favour at the moment. He has been linked with the move to Galatasaray. Manu can't seem to get minutes. I'm assuming if you do bring in Ruben Neves, the aim would be to start him. And I think as a Casemiro sort of someone who can compete with that position with Casemiro, he'd definitely be a good option to have there. And he suits that midfield very, very well. I think he has played in the two before. And again, I think he'd be someone who, again, massively improves the quality of that midfield. We need someone who can control the ball. Yes, Casemiro's a very good midfielder, but I don't think his main asset is kind of controlling and dictating the play from deep when we do have possession. He's good at it, but again, I think Neves is quite good at that, to be fair. Now, again, let's look at some negatives. He would have to take a huge wage cut. Whether he's sort of willing to do that is a totally different question in itself. He's on 330,000 euros per week in Al Hilal, and obviously United are not going to be paying that to him. If he was to join the club, he'd be more like between 100 and 150,000 pound per week. So again, you would have to take a significant wage cut to join the club, which again we know certain players have been reluctant to take to join. Again, in terms of other negatives, do United have the funds to go out and get Ruben Neves in January? I think funds are a massive question. I think we've been linked with Semenyo, assuming Manchester United have the funds for that. But again, he has emerged as a cheaper alternative to someone like Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, and Adam Wharton, and he'd be someone who I'd definitely consider looking at. In terms of other cheap options that we've been kind of linked to, obviously João Gomez is someone that we've been linked to as well, from Wolves. Ruben Neves is one. So yeah, I think there's a few others in there as well. Ederson, Conor Gallagher as well. So there are definitely cheaper options there. I think he would probably be the pick. It's either between him and João Neves. He's still only 28. He can make very good progressive passes from deep, and a lot of fans are saying they would take him in a heartbeat. He's calm on the ball. He's an elite. He's an elite sort of passer. He dictates the play as well, protects the defence, brings leadership as well. Again, the question marks would be wages. But again, he's a stability signing. He is relatively young, and at 28, he would be certainly a decent player. And Ruben Amorim has reportedly asked the club to sign the Al Hilal midfielder who is approaching the final 6 months of his contract in Saudi Arabia. The 28-year-old Portuguese has maintained his high level of performance even still after leaving Europe. So we know the threats that he has, we know the quality. He's 28 years old, and again, I think he would add a lot to this team. And I think he'd definitely be one as an opportunity in January. Because listen, Casemiro, we know he only has 55, 60 minutes in him, and I think someone like Ruben Neves would come in, be able to kind of give us some more minutes than that. Be someone who can start games as well. For 20 million, 1 game a week would be very, very good for me, and I think he's definitely an option to look at. But yeah, again, Conor Gallagher as well, someone who's been talked about quite a few times, and with regard to his future at United looking bleak, there's a possibility that he could leave. I think as a better replacement and a better player, more experience, Premier League experience, I think Ruben Neves would certainly be the option to sign, and he'd be someone who will be rated by Ruben Amorim. Now it depends on whether United have the money, the wages as well would be a problem, but there's no doubt he would be a fit in this team with the experience, with the quality that he has. So yeah, let's see what does happen.